How's it going, all you beautiful people? Welcome to r/entitled parents. Because all I do in my free time is read this subreddit, I'm gonna show you one of the favorite stories I've seen in the past few days. This is an exact C&P of a post that I made yesterday that you all seem to like, but the mods removed and they didn't tell me why, so here you go! Apologies for spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. English is not my first language. Me equals the smexy beast writing this post. EA, entitled aunt, and EK, entitled kid. Mum, I'll leave you to figure that one out. So a little bit of background first. EA and my mum used to get along good. Well, as good as two sisters usually get on. But when EA had a kid, almost all contact was dropped between them, and now she only calls my mum to ask for a small loan of, insert large amount of money here, or other favors like her driving down to look after EK for a day. She lives over 4 hours away. But you can't stay the night as I don't have a room, and gets offended when my mom declines. Anyway, so a sort of olive branch, my mom got quite ill a few months prior and had one of those moments where she didn't want any regrets when she died. My mom invited EA and her EK around for a few nights so they can catch up and whatnot. So I'm waiting at the door. The car pulls up front and I open the door when she rings the bell. Me, opens door. Hey EA, hold this, shoves bag in my face, which I take. I kind of write this off since it was a 4-hour journey with a most likely screaming child. My mom and EA proceed to exchange pleasantries, but I notice my mom is basically doing all the niceties. How was your journey, etc. Not really important to the story, I just like to show that she's not a nice lady. Anyway, so a few minutes go by, I make some tea and a hot chocolate for EK. He didn't ask for it, I was just being nice. EK, it's cold. It's steaming at the top, so I know he's lying. Me laughs awkwardly and sits down. EK blinks at me. It's still cold. At this point I realize he's not joking. Me, EK, I can see the steam. It's not cold. EA, oh, he just watched Ratatouille. For those of you who don't know, Ratatouille is an animated film about a chef rat, and it's trying to be like, name of some character from the film. Be a dear and remake one for him. Side note, from what I remember his character never says the food's cold, but I could be wrong. I kinda sit still for a bit, not sure if she's serious. EA, now please, laughs at EK who gleefully holds up his cup. Now it should be noted at this point that my mom let it happen since she was so desperate to get on with her sister, but that will change later, don't worry. Me knowing my mom wants to work this out. Sure, whatever. I go into the kitchen and set the mug down out of view, rattle with spoons and jugs, and bring the same hot chocolate back. The kid is fine with it, but EA? Oh no! EA, you didn't remake that! I just saw you put that on the side and bring it back out! EK stops drinking. Mommy, I want a hot one! EA, don't worry, honey. You'll get a hot one. At this point, I'm just annoyed. The kid was fine with it. EA was just being a dick. Me, well, the microwave is in there. Motion towards the kitchen. Knock yourself out. So I don't cause a scene. I leave the room and go upstairs to my room. Now, recently, I've started playing a new game on my PC called BioShock 2. For those of you who don't know, it's a horror game that takes place underwater. Now, a key point to both this story and the game is that in the game there are little girls who run around calling little sisters, and their job is to collect resources from dead bodies around the various game levels. Each one is protected by a huge man in a diving suit known as Big Daddies, which are normally referred to by the little sisters as Daddy or Mr. Bubbles, for whatever reasons, I don't know. And in the second game you play as one of these Big Daddies, and have to defend these little girls whilst they harvest the resources. If you've played the game, or are super intelligent, you probably know where this is going. Anyway, so I boot up the game and begin playing. A few minutes pass, and I assume EK gets bored because I hear him scampering upstairs, and without knocking, enters my room. Me, knowing the game is quite gruesome, and I shouldn't play it in front of him, pauses the game. Hey, could you please knock next time? EK, I don't have to knock at home. Me, you're not at home. EK, ignoring this. What are you playing? Me, an adult game. EK, but you're not an adult. Me, aha, you got me. I don't like him much, but I get he's a kid, and although he's annoying as hell, I do recognize that I gotta bear with him a little bit since he's only about 5 to 6 and doesn't really know any better than to be annoying and squeaky. EK, can you play some, please? Me, not with you here, mate. As I said, it's an adult game. He storms out, slamming my door behind him. I was a bit confused since I, though annoyed, understood why I wasn't allowed to play certain games when I was at his age. A few moments passed, and this is where it gets a tad unbelievable, so fair enough if you want to call BS. In the game, I set the little sister down and she begins harvesting the body and several enemies attack, attempting to get the little sister just as I hear footsteps coming up the stairs. I have a little eye roll as I know exactly what's about to happen. It's EA. She stands outside my door for a few seconds. I assume thinking of something to say, but I give it no thought. Just as she's about to walk in, without knocking I might add, the little sister in the game gets attacked and lets out a high-pitched, "Daddy!" asking me, her guardian, for help. Now at the time, I didn't really think much of it, as I know full well what I'm doing, whereas all EA knows at this point is that I'm a 16-year-old boy, and she knows full well what most 16-year-old boys are motivated by. EA, banging hand on door. What the frick is wrong with you? Me? Huh? EA barges in the room, which if she thought I really was doing the things guys do is pretty creepy. What the hell did you show my angel? Me, pauses game. Oh, he asked to see the game, and I said no since it's 18. EA, don't lie to me, you little piece of crap. He just came downstairs crying because you played an adult thing in front of him. Me, what? EA, this is a game. EA, I just heard a woman moaning in here. Don't lie to me. Me, what you heard was a character in the game. If you sit down, I'll show you. At this point, EK is at the door and wanders in. EK points to pause screen. That's it! Me, I'll play some of it for you to prove it's not porn if you just sit down. Gestures to bed. I'd like to point out that I wasn't being aggressive at all during this. She was screaming at me, and I was talking normally. Both of them take a seat on my bed. Me, you might want to tell EK to leave. It's a grown-up game. EA, still angry, but a little quieter. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for him. Me, realizing that didn't actually make much sense, plays the game anyway. Big mistake. Now I understand that I wasn't smart in this situation and didn't really think it through. I then proceed to show her and her little brat about 2 minutes of me blowing enemies' heads off with a shotgun and a huge drill. I did mention before it was gruesome. I paused, turned around, and realized my mistake. EA looked mortified. However, EK looked fine. EA, what kind of sick porn is that? I was surprised. Surely she couldn't be that stupid. I was expecting her to flip out because I showed it in front of her kid. But no, she still thought it was some kind of kink I had. Because why wouldn't you? Eye roll. Me, EA, it's clearly not porn. EA, I'm telling your mother right now, and we're taking your Xbox right now as compensation. I decided not to point out that it was a PC, not an Xbox. EA points to my monitor and holds out her hand like she expects to be able to carry like that, and that I just give it over. Me, WTF? No way! EK, I want it, Mummy! EA, you can have it, sweetie. To me, give it now! Me, no, get the frick out of here, crazy lady. EA tries to grab my monitor and I smack her arm away. EA, did you just hit my child, you fat slob? Me, frick off now! EA storms downstairs, dragging EK by the wrists, and I hear her yelling at my mom downstairs, calling her a female dog and whatnot for letting me have a computer for that filth. I hear a thud and rush downstairs worried. Luckily, it was only her EK having a tantrum on the floor. I'm watching from the staircase and EA hasn't noticed me yet. EA, what kind of crappy parenting are you doing? I demand to having his Xbox, and we're sleeping in his room tonight. Mum, look, can everyone please just calm down? My aunt slaps my mum. This is where I lose my stuff. Now I'm 6'1" and I'm taller than my aunt by about a foot. I'm also not particularly muscly, but I'm quite big and, when wearing the correct clothes, can look like I am. Me, emerging from the staircase. Out. Now. EA, ignoring what I said. And you! Listen here, but... Me. Out. Now! EA. What? Me. Get the frick out of my house now, and if you come back, I'll call the police! At this point, I'm about 2 feet away from her, and she realizes exactly how tall and, supposedly, muscly I am. It's also worth noting that I'd never have touched her or her son in a violent way, but she didn't know that. EA. You can't do that! Me. I can! And you and your little piece of crab stain you call a son, get out of my house right now or I'll make you! EA. We are family! I was shocked at this. Like, how can she even consider making that excuse when my mum was currently crying with a big red mark on her cheek? Me. Get out now! EA, realizing she's beaten, begins grabbing her things and tells EK to get his shoes on so she can tie them. Me. Nope. Out. Points to the door. EA. Yes, I'm getting his shoes on, you dick! Me. Put them on in the car, now frick off! EA moves towards the door and I open it for her. She's grabbing EK's wrist and is practically dragging him along whilst he wails that he wants my game. I throw a bag she forgot onto the ground and slam the door behind me. I immediately check on my mum, who's sobbing quietly, clutching her face. She was fine, and I think it was mostly shock, but she was understandably devastated. She spoke to me later that night and gave me a huge hug, thanking me. Needless to say, we didn't hear from EA for several months until she apologized a few weeks ago and proceeded to ask for money. My mum blocked her. Little heartwarming edit. Since everyone was asking, I'll just put it here. My mom's fine now. She was diagnosed with cancer and went through chemo, so wasn't herself for a while. Normally, she'd have hit her back, but she was mostly upset, not because the visit was a failure, but more because of what the visit represented. She's fine now. Okay. I feel like, just to finish with some of my personal thoughts, I feel like entitled parent should no longer be a title. It should be a disability, because this is one of the stupidest people I have ever heard about in my life. Like, I've played BioShock 2, and it's clearly obvious that when you play the game while listening to the audio at the same time, it's not porn. So, you know, I think I'm gonna go, let's sign a petition. Let's all make a petition in the comments. Change r/entitled parents into r/entitled parents is for disabilities or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna head out for now. But if you want me to do some larger Reddit videos, or, you know, just keep doing Reddit videos in general, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll keep that in mind for this week. I'll see all you beautiful people later.